Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 110 on December 12th, 2018. I am Clyde. Today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello.
Jimmy Trammell.
Good evening.
And sporting some spiffy headphones, Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on?
I remembered to grab headphones today.
And we appreciate that. It's been... I think that describes my day.
You're not on
week?
break yet, are you?
No. I get the federal holidays off, which mean I get 11 days off a year. I'll be working over winter break, so very likely. Unless I take time off. I might take time off. That might be nice.
No, you need to save your time off and then go to CES with us.
That's during school hours. It's much harder to do.
That's what time off is for.
You know, it did drop down to 48 degrees here in West Palm Beach this morning.
Wah, wah, wah.
It was minus 12, I think, when I left for work this morning. Yeah.
Wow.
That's okay. It's all right. I just got an inch and a half of rain yesterday, which is, pretty good.
Minus 12, man.
Yeah. I mean,
our thermometer didn't even read that low.
We're like missing degrees.
In Florida, when they sell thermometers, they start at 40 degrees and go up to 120.
Yeah, they're like oven thermometers. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They max out at like 200, 250 because you might some days you think it's that hot when the reflection is just right.
Yeah. I mean, imagine it. If it ever got that cold in Florida, all of the reptiles would die.
Probably.
Every single one of them would be dead. Mass extinction.
There'll probably be a couple survivors.
Well, I mean, some that were like in zoos or not like born yet.
Sufficiently like snuck up in somebody's crawl space or something like that where there was not good insulation and it heated it up nicely, or there'd be some survivors.
Well, if it killed all the reptiles, at least that'd be a way to replenish the oil, right?
Eventually.
Check back
That's
in
right.
a couple million years. And on that note, what should we be checking for now?
We should probably be checking for some news. We're going to start with a story about YouTube and National Geographic. They are working together to make some brand new VR projects, which you will be able to watch in their 3 VR viewer. Some very nice experiences that they put onto the National Geographic channel. These are fully rendered 3D projects for you to watch. First one is already available. It's called the, forgive my pronunciation, Okavango, the Okavango experience, which allows you to follow a group of explorers that are going up a 1,500-mile expedition through the Delta in Africa. So you will be able to see all kinds of wildlife and all kinds of cool things going on. These little 5-minute videos will be available starting right now for the first one. So it came out yesterday, and they're going to have several episodes for this one, and a few more of these projects are coming up in the future too.
So basically, they're copying what Discovery did 2 years ago.
Probably, but they're it's National Geographic. They got to do their own thing, right?
Did Discovery do it with VR though?
Yeah, with Brian and Justin.
Brushwood and Justin, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All I know, yeah, this stuff's always interesting. More content, better. Awesome. One thing though, when I look at this picture, there are crocodiles there someplace. No doubt in my mind, there's some crocodiles waiting to snatch somebody out of one of those boats.
Well, it's YouTube's VR app, so as long as your VR device accepts YouTube, which is practically everything, you can go and find the crocodiles in your by looking around for them. And as one jumps out and bites the camera, you can duck and scream and yell, and everybody in the house can wonder what the hell's going on with you. So really fun.
Yeah.
Google's done this with a couple different people. It looks like they've worked with Vogue, Major League Baseball, and the NFL already to do a VR series like this. So this is just another expansion of their long, big market of trying to take this platform to more and more interesting and entertaining places.
Yeah, rock on.
Where do you want to go in VR?
Most of the places that people want to go, they're not
worlds.
willing to speak of in mixed company.
The Lord of the Rings world, the Wheel of Time world.
So, I mean, think of it this way, Clyde. Couldn't you make a movie like Crocnado or something like that right there in VR? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crocnado in VR.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm down for a VR full-length movie. The scale of making that would be absolutely insane. But there's a music video I saw a while back. I'll see if I can find it at the end of the show. But it's in that 360 video on YouTube, and it was really cool because like everything's going on in the music video, and you can watch it in whatever way you want by scrolling around.
Sorry. Continue.
No,
I should not have
I'm done. Go ahead.
You. I was just going to say your idea of a full-length movie in this, whereas these are, VR experiences of specific places. Think of it. Just occurs to me that it would be really fascinating to see a movie that was set like in a single room. Or a TV show that was set in a single room or apartment or something like that you could set up your VR headset, your VR system to experience it interactive, like not interactively, but in a VR environment where you could walk around and see every aspect and every angle and experience it more from the perspective of the people. It would be really kind of very cool.
Yeah. And I think from a movie standpoint, the perfect kind of scenario for that experience would be like battle scenes, like think Braveheart or 300 or something where you've got these massive battles going on. If you just got one guy that's out there running around with the 360 rig, you can get that entire thing and you look around wherever you want, and it'd be crazy.
I was thinking more something along the lines of like Friends, though. You know how like Friends like predominantly happens in three specific rooms: the living rooms of two apartments and a coffee shop. That kind of show could be experienced in a very interesting way in VR, where you could literally like be sitting on the sofa with them or walking around and seeing things from different angles, different people's perspectives, and the types of jokes and gags that you could do in a setting like that would be much more interesting, I think, and very fascinating.
Yeah. Rock on. I wouldn't mind Friends in VR, because then I could walk up and try to kick Ross in the nuts. All right. What's Xfinity got going on?
Xfinity has joined the Disney's project. It's called, remember that we've talked about before, the Movies Anywhere project. Movies Anywhere, if you remember, is the project which allows you to attach your service to the Movies Anywhere project, and then have all of your purchased items on that project, on that service, be available to any other service that is cross-linked with it. So if you are an Xfinity user and you've purchased movies through them, you can now get your movies also to be propagated across all the other compatible services through the Movies Anywhere project, which is awesome because I bet you there's lots of people who have purchased things through the Xfinity apps.
Makes sense.
I bet you there's lots of people who don't realize that there's other options have put to purchase things.
I mean, this will definitely be good for people that have chosen the new Comcast upgraded Xfinity X1 Android TV whatever box that they've been talking about. So now, in addition to Netflix and Hulu, and you can get your Disney anywhere. Rock on. One thing I'm afraid of is they will find a way to require a technician visit for this.
Or for you to bring your box into the store so they can do something with it, of course. If that's exactly what they'll do. No, actually, I'm interested to know if they will also do television purchases, because I know some people who do actually buy shows on their Xfinity because the show wasn't available and they wanted to purchase it. So when are we going to start seeing things outside of the movies industry being cross-modable across these different devices? I'm still interested to find out when that happens.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I buy most of my stuff on Amazon directly. However, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I bought on DVD connected to my Disney Movies Anywhere account. And the really convenient thing is that Amazon has full integration with Movies Anywhere. So if I buy a movie on Amazon that qualifies for Movies Anywhere, like a Warner, a Sony, Universal, Fox, Disney movie, then it shows up in my Disney Movies Anywhere app for my tablets and stuff like that. But same the other way. All of my Disney shows that I bought previously show up in my Amazon app as videos that I have access to. So it's super convenient. I love it, and I agree completely. It would be outstanding if some of these studios that do the movies or that do the TV shows as well would integrate that same functionality in the TV shows. I get most of my TV through Amazon, so I have it at least that way, but I don't have access to it in the Movies Anywhere app, which is, I mean, it makes sense. It's called Movies Anywhere, but why? Why not just be video everywhere?
Yeah, I want to be able to move my stuff around no matter what service it is and what kind of service it is. So, yes, bring more of this. Thank you for doing this, Comcast. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming up with the idea, Disney. Let's keep expanding. Let's not stop here. That's my vote.
Yeah, I mean, in order to truly be Disney Movies Anywhere, you need to be available everywhere. So,
agreed.
Do it. All right.
So we had a Game Awards this year, and it seems to be every time somebody talks about the Game Awards, every year they seem to be getting a little bit better and a little bit better as far as an awards show go. A lot of people, when they first came out, it was kind of a funky attempt to be an interesting award show, and it's actually apparently improved a lot. One of the things that happens a lot at the awards show, though, is a lot of announcements of new games. And because it's related, we have a new game announcement that you guys may be interested in. Stranger Things 3, the game, is coming out, and it is going to be a retro-style game for mobile devices, which you will be able to play and experience the third season in a pixelated format. Anybody interested in playing these kind of games?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
the game, no. The show, yes.
That era also had its own series of video games, and so since it looks like they're at least kind of trying to match that time, although it's pretty clear it's a little bit above the 80s era for that kind of...
not actually 8-bit.
Yeah, it looks a little more 16-bit to me. But it's still kind of fun to revisit this kind of stuff and be able to maybe to have it in a fun game format.
I have played a few of these retro games that look 8-bit-esque or 16-bit quality, and really I enjoy it. Graphics are a very small part of a game. Yeah, amazing graphics can make a game very interesting and enjoyable. But think about I just started playing Breath of the Wild, so that is not high-end graphics, but it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not like you need a 1080 GTX in order to run that game, but it looks outstanding. So you can have decent looking portrayals of what you want, and that's enough if the gameplay and the story and stuff is good. So yeah, it could be great. I'm definitely interested in it. I'll give it a shot.
So the world of Stranger Things, it would be actually pretty good for some kind of side scroller or some other kind of mystery game. So
that based on the aesthetic of the show and the fact that it's set in the 80s, it would not make sense to do a game that was modern. So
right.
But they're also, in what they're trying to do, there's a really good chance I could backfire and not land properly. So yeah, like I said, we'll see. Maybe.
Well, there was a Telltale Games version of Stranger Things that was coming out, and as far as we know, that has disappeared due to the demise of Telltale Games.
Gone.
So this is, if you were looking forward to that, maybe this will fill the void. Maybe it'll put you upside down.
So I'm trying to think here. So they're thinking that if you're a fan of the show, you'll also want to buy the game. I guess that's the...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like any video game that's tied to a popular franchise. That's like the tale as old as time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
E.T., which is popular, most well known as the game that killed Atari.
Right. Well, we've seen this in movies before, but how many TV shows has had games?
Not as many.
I'd say there's been a fair amount. I mean, Wheel of Fortune's had like 15 versions.
Inspector Gadget, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cartoons,
Lots of
cartoons
have done it.
Well, all those you just named also have slot machines in Vegas as well.
Well, now they didn't at the time. I'm pretty sure when we get to Vegas this year, there's going to be Stranger Things slot machines.
Oh
yeah.
I bet there will.
If there isn't already. Dude, I saw an Adventure Time slot machine when I was walking around last year.
Well, but also specifically the 80s style of art for the video game. Also, there's a lot of people who are very nostalgic for that. So, I mean, not too far down that road.
I'm willing to bet with where we're at with technology right now, it was probably harder to make an 8-bit game than it would be to make a more modern CGI game.
I would imagine so, because you have to know how to do 8-bit programming versus modern programming is much more lined out and scripted, and so
it depends on how you define it, right? Like harder as in more skill and knowledge necessary, probably. Harder as in more man hours required, definitely not. But
well, you'd have to build an emulator, wouldn't you? Because the modern hardware wouldn't have the same type of platform to build that type of game. So you'd have to build some sort of emulator to be able to make that 8-bit game.
Well, making an 8-bit game now would actually be rather easy. You wouldn't need an emulator. You would actually probably just draw it. You wouldn't emulate, you wouldn't need to emulate anything. You just program it with JavaScript or whatever language you want, and you would just draw it on the screen in real time. Because computers are fast enough to do that. You don't even have to use any physics engine or anything like that to manage something as simple as 8-bit graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking about writing it for a computer then?
Yeah,
I was talking about more for a console.
Oh yeah. I mean,
well, I mean,
I've never developed anything for a console, so I couldn't.
I mean, it'd be the same basic premise, because the consoles are just PCs. You just require a specific engine. They have specific rule set for what you can do, but yeah, as long as you operate within those rules, it's, I'd say, probably no different than the difference between programming for iOS and Android, or for
Mhm.
Apple and Mac or Windows or whatever. It's different.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I've made like brick baking games and games similar to old Atari games in JavaScript with just not using any engines or anything like that. So you can definitely do it, and those looked far better than 8-bit. So,
Mhm.
although there was an 8-bit game that I played a few years back, and I need to pick it back up. This reminds me. It was essentially a spin-off. If you remember the game Bad Dudes from the Nintendo, it was an adventure follow-up to that was starring basically he was like the end boss from that game, and then he had his own basically version of Bad Dudes starring him. It was a lot of
Do you know
fun.
what it's called?
I don't remember. I'll find it afterwards. But it was like one of those open source things, and but yeah, we can move on.
Okay. We can move on, and we are moving on to Ghost in the Shells. It's been Netflix announced a bunch of different things last week we talked about as far as anime. They just announced this week that they're also going to come out with a new series of Ghost in the Shell. This one is going to be 3D animated, and so far it looks like it's going to look pretty good as from what I can see here.
At first, I was super excited about this because I'm always down for a new season or movie of Ghost in the Shell. But I really hope I like this 3D animation style, but I hope they do a better job of getting the likenesses right, because that is definitely not the major. I mean, yes, she's got black hair, but that is not the major. So.
Yeah, I mean, my expectation is that this is probably very representative of what you'll see. I mean, they're re-envisioning it. They're not trying to recreate it pixel for pixel.
No, I get
right?
that, but
so,
there are visual cues that there are several animes that I've watched that they have basically gone back and redid it with a new style and a new look. But there are certain things that you need to keep because it helps fuel that nostalgia and keep you in.
Yeah.
If you just say,
I guess
no.
The question, I think, is their goal to fuel the nostalgia and draw people in visually, or hope that the storyline and the characters of Ghost in the Shell can draw back the old favorites and re-envision the look and feel to pull in the new audience, because this is what the younger generations are going to expect from anime.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not the artistic styling; it's just more of the likeness. If we do a 3D version, 3D animated version of you want to be able to look at it and know, without thinking, that's so and so. Whether it's the size of the nose, or there's just certain things that distinguish people that are completely distinguish a person. And like I said, right off the bat, I assume that's the major, but I don't think it looks anything like the major. So
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I totally get it. It doesn't look like the original really much at all, other than the hair color and general length of the hair.
Perfect
right?
example would be Appleseed, because if you watch like the 90s original version of Appleseed, and then you watch the like reboots from the early 2000s, like 2005, they're completely different animation style, but you could look at the characters and the likeness is close enough. I mean, yes, the body is shaded and shaped differently because of the animation style changed, but the likeness is still there. So.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of excited me in this article was that they're going to make the Ultraman movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer for the new Ultraman, it is literally a kind of a sequel of the original series. If you ever watched the original Ultraman, I don't know why, but you
And
might have.
it's based off of
I watched it.
It's
Okay.
based off of the new Ultraman reboot that's been in manga for a couple of years now. So
Yeah, well, and I watched the trailer. I didn't understand anything that was being said because I can't. I didn't understand the kanji, of course. But yeah, it looks like it's a really cool way of. I could pretty much tell what they're trying to do, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be lots of fun for a new Ultraman.
Yeah. The original Ultraman was like back in the late 70s.
Yeah.
That's when the original series was, right? And it was, the special effects was real hokey, and all that kind of thing. But, for back then, it wasn't too bad, right? Because most special effects were kind of hokey, right? Other than, maybe Star Wars or something like that, right? But, all the rest of them were kind of like that, right? So for us back then, right, it wasn't too bad for the time. Yeah, if you look at it now, it's very hokey. Probably would be one of the movies for Movie Party or shows for Movie Party or something like that, right? But
Totally do an original Ultraman for a movie party. Totally could.
Absolutely. But I'm now that's the only Ultraman I know is the original series, right? So I'm kind of interested to see what this movie will be. How it's going to transform. And I do know that there was a reboot, of which I never watched any of those, but it's going to be interesting to me to. And I'll probably watch this. I'll probably watch that movie just to see, how much it's like what I remember, back in the late 70s.
all right.
Yeah.
Rock on.
And I will likewise give this Ghost in the Shell a chance because I want to know if I like it as much as I like the original.
I will probably enjoy it because I actually kind of enjoyed the movie. I thought for what it was a fun movie, and they did pretty much what I expected. I know people
Just a second, Clyde. You liked the movie?
I did.
I'm trying to remember. It bombed, didn't it?
It did.
It did.
Okay, there you go.
Tracks.
Yeah, I never saw it, and part of it was because I was not able to get out when it came out, and a couple of weeks later, it had done so miserably that I just thought
I would recommend.
I'll catch it when it comes out, and then I forgot.
Actually, that would be a great movie in VR because of the visuals. I would recommend it. It's worth a watch, especially if you're streaming it. Because it ain't gonna cost you nothing. It was fun. It explores more into her backstory than a bit more than the animes really have. So, but yeah, Rucka.
All right. We have a cool project that's coming from the Warsaw University of Technology. They have come up with a cool program called Comixify, which allows you to feed it a movie or video of some kind, and it will pick out the correct images in order to convert it into what looks like comic books. So they had a couple examples here. It looks, and they basically picked some pretty cool places. You could totally just put a couple of thought bubbles and talking bubbles on that, and you could totally recreate these scenes in a comic book form.
The first thing I thought of was we should run one of our episodes through it and see what happens.
It would just be one picture. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's
Blah,
possible.
blah, blah.
No, this is a cool idea, and I hope that this becomes available for lots of. I hope it stays available as a program. I think it's an open source program that they're allowing you to download and do whatever you want with. So it's a cool idea. So get ready for more crazy memes with actual video being represented in comic book format. It's gonna come.
All right.
Does sound cool.
Sounds very cool.
I'm excited to see what people will do with that. And last but not least, I have one more story for us today, guys. Amazon channel. The Amazon has been when allowing you to purchase their various services through their Amazon Video app, things like HBO and Showtime and Starz. And it looks like, according to some research, that about a third of all HBO signups are going through the Amazon's app, and Starz is like nearly half. So they've somehow cornered this market for if you're going to be streaming your video, and you want to buy your service. Right now, it looks like Amazon has that market on hold.
So one question I got there, and I bet Mike can answer this, right? So does Amazon offer like, some sort of discounts or specials or something like that on HBO, or do they charge the same $15 a month like HBO does?
No, you get a slightly worse deal than if you sign up for it in other ways. You get it integrated into your Amazon ecosystem, and that's it. So you don't have access to like the HBO Go that you would get if you subscribe to it for the same $15 a month in other sources. So slightly worse deal, but if you're already using something like the Fire TV or something, then the integration is seamless. It works really easily, and it makes it instantly searchable through your Amazon Echo or your Fire TV interface. So I did this for my HBO until I canceled it once I got through all of the shows I was watching. And so I think that I love this. It's really easy to subscribe, really easy to cancel. It bills it directly through my account to the card that I have on file. So it makes it really easy to do. And the fact, like I said, the fact that I can just start and stop anytime I want with ease in one centralized place, it's really easy. I don't have to search, okay, let's go to the HBO app and turn it off and stuff and find how to cancel. It's very simple. So I'm really a fan of this service, and even though I pay the same price and get slightly less features, that doesn't impact me. It doesn't bother me at all, because I largely live in the Amazon ecosystem. So
yeah, I was going to say, it's really funny that this came up today, because last night I literally realized I needed to resubscribe to Starz, because Starz has very few companies you can authenticate through. So I went to Amazon to see what the price was there, and it was I think the same price. And then I said, nope, I will get it through the app, because I don't live in the Android or in the Amazon ecosystem, and I don't need a reason to go in there. So.
Yeah, it's the same price. It doesn't save you anything, even though you don't get. You lose some small amount of features.
It actually costs them more because Amazon gets a cut.
Yeah.
So.
So one thing I looked at, just in prepping for the show, I went out and looked at Hulu, because Hulu has this as well, and just looking at okay, does it cost the same as HBO, and pretty much all the add-ons, like HBO, Starz, Showtime, all that was pretty much the same price. But the one thing that Hulu did have is if you did a bundle of HBO and Cinemax, you could get both of those for like $19.99 a month, right? So for $5 more, you could tack on Cinemax as well.
Yeah.
So I had the unfortunate. I think I might have said this before, but for a while there, for a short period of time, we had Starz purchased through the app on Xfinity and through Amazon. Whoops.
Yeah.
I turned to my wife. She's the one who likes to watch this, particularly wants their show on Starz. And I said, okay, do we have... we were watching it back then on the Xfinity. And I said, don't we still have this through Amazon? She goes, yeah, I think we do. Don't we still have this through the app? And she goes, maybe. Like, let's find out. Kill a couple of these.
Well, if you guys remember, back over the summer, end of spring, this Starz was the channel that I kept having to pay for, because I couldn't figure out how to find it in the. I couldn't get through the menus to find it in Amazon to stop paying for it.
Yeah.
If you use their app, it's so much easier because you just go to Starz.com, you log in, and then you click on your account, and then you click on your plan and say no, thank you.
Yeah,
So-
it's effectively the same in Amazon. It's just a matter of whether or not you're familiar with navigating that system.
Yeah, but
right?
I can't find anything in Amazon.
Yeah, I'm super familiar with it, so it's really easy for me to find it and like see what channels are available and what things I can add. So
if you show up to any of the movie parties, you will see me getting angry because I can't freaking figure out how to get to my watch list from the main page every single time, and it drives me crazy. And log out. Oh, logging out is another thing, but I will leave that there.
So Mike, one other question there. So, what about the fidelity of the HBO? Is it as good as everything else on Prime Video?
yeah, there's absolutely no issues with it. It looks great.
Okay, all right, good deal. Yeah, I might have to give this a try. You know, when Game of Thrones, I mean, typically I just go straight to the app and subscribe there, but I might try it through Prime Video because I am a big fan of Prime Video as well, and I also am in the Amazon ecosystem. Not totally like you are, Mike. It's not my only source, but I am in there.
Yeah, I mean, I've used them for Amazon. I use them for all of my purchases, for the Prime Video stuff that I watch, for HBO, and for CBS All Access when I have those two services. I have neither of them at the moment, but
Right.
when I do have them, that's how I subscribe to them, and it works seamlessly with all my Fire TV devices.
I've had similar experience. You know, every year when the show Billions comes out on Showtime, I subscribe to Showtime long enough to watch that show, but I always do it through Hulu now, right?
Right.
And I've had good experience there as well.
Very cool. Well, that is the end of our news for the week, guys. We actually had a short week this week.
Yeah,
Not so much.
And that brings us to the point in the show where we like to thank the people that help us feel like we absolutely need to do this. The patrons, the ones that support us monetarily. To you guys, we are eternally grateful. And we just want to say thank you.
And if you'd like to donate to us every episode, you can. Just go to patreon.com/thevodsquad and sign up there. Become one of our bosses. Tell us what to do. Boss us around. That's what we're here for.
Hey, and right now, we're at that point where we can actually listen to every single one of our bosses. Your requests don't get lost in the noise like some bigger. So, you know, if there's a bigger show that you're currently subscribing to someplace and they're not meeting your needs, you know, fire them. Give us a shot. We're scrappy. We'll go that extra mile to try and
That's right.
give you the
That's
satisfaction
right. Feel like
you desire.
your voice is being diluted by other Patreon members from larger channels. Come here to ours. We're
Especially if they are in no way affiliated with a Diamond Club community.
That's right. You know, we'll even give you private shows if it happens to work that way. You know, like, we are here for you no matter what.
Yeah.
Hey, Wabbit.
Wabbit got one of those a couple weeks ago. So
Absolutely.
you know,
Wabbit got
if
a
you got an
private
extra
show.
buck,
Come on.
even if it's just $1 a month, hey, you know, a buck's a buck.
And you know, similarly, we'll take the Twitch subscriptions as well. If you've got your Prime Twitch Prime free subscription each month, feel free to throw those our way as well. Or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so
I
remembered to do that last week, and I think I forgot last month, and so I thought I'd throw that out there as a reminder.
Absolutely. Amazon's kind of stingy with those Twitch subs, but we'll still take them. If you got one laying around getting dusty, don't let it expire. So.
Yep.
Alrighty, hey, should we check in with Big Voice Jay?
Totally.
Alright.
Welcome to Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of December 12th, 2018. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. Pro tip, don't go crazy. Go normal. They'll never see it coming. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Movie Party's in last place with $101.7 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming is in 5th place with $217 million. Team VOD Squad's in 4th place with $243.1 million. Team Game Night's in 3rd place with $347.1 million. Team Have a Drink is in 2nd place with $399.8 million. And in 1st place, it's Team Ritual Misery with $418.1 million. That's your Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of December 17th, 2018.
So, how you guys feeling?
I think
I
I'm
hope we
starting
can
to
hold
see
on to third from last.
that's what I'm hoping for as well. But clearly, you're starting to see a line of demarcation there, are you not?
Well, in 2 days, I think that we're going to lose our, well, maybe not exactly 2 days, but shortly after 2 days, i.e. the end of this weekend, I suspect we will lose our third from last place position to a new champion. Maybe the first weekend won't do it for, not champion, but a new person, a new team.
That's what I'm
this
saying,
weekend
right?
may not quite do it for you, but definitely within the next week and a half, you'll take the lead over us because, I mean, by the time Welcome to Merwin comes out, you'll be ahead of us. Unless people realize that Robin Hood is out, because I think everybody just isn't realizing it. They are thinking December 21st, not November 21st. So next week, everybody's going to go see Robin Hood.
I'm looking forward to this weekend because this weekend will be the decider of do I have a shot or not.
Right.
If everybody that says they're super excited about the Spider-Man movie decide not to go see it, then I'm done. If it does really good, then I'm still in the running when Bumblebee, which also is getting mad
Rather good
props.
reviews.
Yeah.
You know, I think just like last movie draft, everybody said, "Oh, those two movies, what are you doing?" And they ended up being the two greatest movies, and I got vindication. I'm kind of hoping for something along those lines, just in the fact that they actually make some money when I don't think they are. But
I'm certain Spider-Man is going to do extremely well for you. The closer we get, the more I hear about it, the more positive I am. That's going to do really well for you.
How serious I am about this?
You're not going to go see it.
I'm not going to go see it. I will not. I will not. I will not. I'll wait until it's in the dollar theater next month sometime.
I'm pretty sure. I'm still dubious about Bumblebee. I've now finally seen the previews for it, and I just I don't have a lot of hope for it.
Well,
I mean,
it's got the thing. It's got the thing that everybody wants
movie,
right now. It's got, for the fans, it's got Bumblebee in his original form before he turned into Shia LaBeouf's Camaro. So he's the Volkswagen Bug that all of us remember from the 80s.
Yep.
It's got a strong female lead, which is what everybody wants right now. Mm-hmm. So those two things, I think, are enough for most of the demographics that you need. And then there's a guy that looks like a young Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I think he's like maybe a wrestler guy. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. I'm just not convinced that people haven't
Cena
sworn off Transformers movies in their entirety because of how miserable they have each gotten it. The fact that they've each gotten like an order of magnitude worse than the previous one Like the first one was okay. It was not bad. It was pretty decent. The second one was
good.
fairly bad.
No,
The
it was
third
better
one-
than the first one.
Oh,
Was it better?
the third one?
The first one was pretty unwatchable. They started finally giving them colors to the second one. They had a lot more fun in the second one. They had Devastator in the second one. A lot of people loved that. Then
like
they
the
started going down.
I liked the third one. The first one was okay. The first one was the one I went to going, this is going to be terrible, and I walked out going, okay.
Wasn't as terrible as you
it
thought
was
it would be.
okay. The second one, it was a couple characters that made it unwatchable.
Yeah,
The
that's
little
kind
mini,
of how I
the
felt.
little mini bots were. It was like,
Yeah.
But then the third one, I actually enjoyed the third one, but it might have been because I saw it at a drive-in. So I saw it at a drive-in with, if I remember right, it was also with Green Lantern. Because they came out at the same time, I think. And that's the only reason I saw either movie, and I actually liked both of them. So,
See, I
felt
didn't realize they made that many Transformer movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
then they
it
made
was-
like two more after that.
when they went to when they tried to retcon and switched over to Donnie Wahlberg, or is it Mark?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
one of
Mark.
the Wahlbergs going, hey, that Transformer looks like a Transformer? And it like,
I thought 3 was atrocious. I couldn't.
That's what I
I
felt
couldn't handle it. 4, I didn't even bother to see, and 5, I didn't even bother to see. They looked so bad, and 3 killed it for me. I did not enjoy 2 as much.
but
as
that's the thing about this movie. This is apparently the movie that basically gets rid of that and goes back to what a good Transformer movie.
So the question is, can people get over their Transformer overload
Their
to watch this
transphobia?
movie? Can they get over that?
I-
Will enough people come out to see an animated Spider-Man movie that, because animation for some people just turns them off, but there's plenty of people who are really excited about it. Will enough people get over that to go watch that one movie? If that's the case, you got a good shot.
Hey, don't
Yeah.
I mean, this is
don't
the
be
sixth.
afraid to let animation turn you on. Is what I'm
But-
hearing.
Be aware that this winter has been the freaky winter where nothing you think makes money does, and things that you didn't think would make a lot of money
and
does make a lot of money.
you know, which is weird because I mean, typically nothing makes money this time of year. It's very rare that anything really makes a
Usually
bunch
one or
of
two
money.
things makes a big
But-
hit. It hits the 200,000.
Yeah.
So far, we've had the two movies make 200 million this year.
Yeah.
One I completely expected, The Grinch. The other I did not really expect, Venom. So
yeah.
And Venom just came out on video today, or this week, I think, or yesterday it was.
really?
Yeah.
It did miserably. I mean,
Although
it made money. I don't understand it.
It made money, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 28%.
As did the viewer. Like the viewers didn't like it either. That's what.
A lot of people showed up for it. It's a Spider-Man live-action movie. That's what they think. They got to watch it.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
Go watch it.
and I want to sorry, I want to thank Matt for adding this daily data filter tab on the spreadsheet, because if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have known I'm still making money on First Man. Bad Times hasn't made a single cent since 11/22, but I'm still making money every day on First Man.
First Man is still making money.
Goosebumps, you finally dropped off 2 days ago.
Yeah, finally. But interestingly enough, also very interestingly enough, the movie that's making the most money by far is already finally that The Grinch, and it's just going to keep making money all the way through Christmas. So that movie has been amazing about how much money it's been making. So
As of yesterday, Night Shul is still making money.
that was a good pick. I mean, that was a trade, and it was a good trade. So yes,
They made $10,000 between the 10th and the 11th. Or on the 11th. Yesterday, they made like another $10,000.
good for them.
Almost. So, You want to talk about unexpected, but I've got a bone to pick because I don't see any money for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I know for a fact it was playing at my theater here last weekend.
Well, boxofficemojo.com has not counted that money yet.
And that's why I'm like, because I took the girls to see Wreck-It Ralph, and I almost took them to see the Spider-Man instead, because it was like, wait, it's already playing. And
nope.
We saw Ralph instead. But so whoever owns that, you're welcome. That was like $60.
That was Ritual Misery, and Ritual Misery is currently in the lead. Thanks, Clyde.
Yeah, I know.
All I can say is just get in the mood to steal from the rich and give to the poor.
One thing I wanted to say is also that on television, if you're ever watching normal television, being advertised up and down is Welcome to Marwen. It's getting more airtime on television than...
I think that it has potential.
Potential.
Once I saw the trailer and actually knew what it was, I went, oh, this is totally a date movie. This is totally my wife's angry at me, I need to do something to make her forget that she's angry at me kind of movie. So
it's by the guys who made Forrest Gump, and it feels a lot like a Forrest Gump movie.
Yeah.
So and that's not saying anything bad about it either. So yeah, I expect it to actually do rather well for us. So we'll see. It's up against everything else this week with Mary Poppins, Aquaman, Bumblebee, Holmes and Watson, and Second Act. Finally, Second Act comes out. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm waiting for Second Act for sure. That actually may end up fueling my second act.
Maybe. No, sorry. If you spent $6 on it, that's about right.
Oh yeah. I honestly, it wasn't until it was on the board that I was like, wait, what the hell is this movie? I didn't buy a J-Lo movie. Apparently I did for $6. All right. Let's move on. We'll get in some rants, some raves. All right. If I can get back over. Guys, what's going on? What you got? Angry, happy, pensive?
I want to let you guys know that we don't watch a lot of television. My wife likes to watch a lot of. That's what she likes to do. I actually like to spend my time playing video games when I get the chance. But we once in a while pop to watch some shows together, and she came across on Netflix Manhunt Unabomber. And that's an old series. It was apparently on Discovery first, and oh my goodness, was a very, very well developed and run short series. If you like crime drama and you like a little bit of history, it's only 8 episodes, 8 1-hour episodes, and it pulls you in real fast. It's easy to watch really fast. Lots of big names in it. I mean, Paul Bettany, I think, is in it. Is the Unabomber in it? So, I recommend it to anybody who's looking for something short but kind of serious and really well made. And yeah, really well made.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix now, streaming now.
Yeah, I saw that a while back. Yeah, maybe we'll get around to it.
Okay.
All right. Jimmy?
Yeah, so I'll continue that story there a little bit, or the Netflix story, that is. I have started watching Daredevil Season 3. And, I think we said on the show maybe a couple episodes ago that this is going to be the last season for Daredevil. So started watching it, was thinking, okay, well, if it's the last season, usually the last seasons aren't so good in these kind of shows. But surprisingly, I'm about maybe 3 episodes into it, and it's actually pretty good. they bring back the villain. I won't say it, but they bring back one of the old villains right in this season, and so and I really like that villain. I like the actor that plays that villain, and I gotta say I'm really enjoying it. You know, it kind of seems like the first season almost all over again, right? And I really enjoyed the first season. So so if you like Daredevil, you like the Marvel universe and all, definitely I recommend, you know, seeing the third season. It makes, you know, it's making me hope that, you know, maybe, you know, Marvel or somebody picks this up, you know, and continues on with the series. I don't know how I'd feel if they got different actors, you know, and that kind of thing. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, right? So, so if they do get different actors and writers and that kind of thing, you know, just hopefully they keep the quality up, like what Netflix has done. So, really enjoying that one, and recommend it.
Interesting. If they did, if Disney did decide to reuse Daredevil, and they decide to keep the same actor, then they can keep the same feel, essentially. But if they decide to go with a new actor, would you be okay if they decided to go a different feel? Would that make it okay for you? Or would it be like, nope, I'm just wrong, can't be right, this is not acceptable? It'd be okay if they decide make maybe a little bit more of a little bit less serious, a little bit more jokey. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'd want the same feel.
Right.
I think. I mean, I think that you could do it in different ways, or maybe, you know, I mean, one thing that comes to mind, you know, there was a series that I think it was Starz had the series of what was the Gladiator series?
Rome?
No,
that's not. I don't remember.
Yeah, the famous slave who overthrew his owner.
Unfortunately, I can't remember.
Spartacus.
Yes.
Yes. So it was. So the very first season of that, you know, they had this one actor who was really well done, really good, you know, actor who he was the main character. He was Spartacus, right? And he did a good job. And I forget. I was reading a while back. Anyway, when they come out with the second season, and they were late coming out with the second season, they got a different guy to play Spartacus because the original actor couldn't do it for some reason.
Russell Crowe?
No,
that was
him.
Gladiator. Sorry.
That was Gladiator. Yeah, but so, but they had all the other actors, and it still had the same feel. And the guy the actor that they got to replace him, did a good job as Spartacus, right? So in that instance, I thought it was good. And if they do it like that, right, you know, kind of keep the same feel. I mean, they could change things up, which they did with the new Spartacus, right? Then yeah, I think I would enjoy Daredevil, you know, a season 4, you know, as long as they keep the quality up, right? Just don't make it, you know, so cheesy to where, oh, you know, it looks like a completely different show, right? Okay. But it could be a different actor, and if they did it like they did with Spartacus, yes, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, cool. I think one thing that is interesting, like if you read comics, it's very common for them to switch up the creative teams on a comic, and you get a very different look and feel to the art style. There was an artist, Jay Lee, did Batman for a while, and his style was very dark, very, very harsh edges, and very exaggerated features and stuff. And then Jim Lee did Batman for a while. And Jim Lee is very clean, very smooth lines, and one of my favorite artists. And totally different look and feel to those books when those different artists were drawing those. But the stories still had the feel of Batman and stuff, and it just represented a slightly different time in the storyline. And so I think that it would be really interesting if they do take advantage of a shift in studios and stuff like that to create a slightly different atmosphere that's represented as a different part of the timeline or a different stage in his life. And you know, if you change actors and crew and everything, as long as you keep true to the story and the character and the way the character interacts with the world and thinks of the world, that's the thing. It's like, why did I not like Luke in The Last Jedi? It was the same actor. He looked pretty similar, just older and everything.
Was the blue milk.
But yeah, but
Actually, it was green.
But the green milk killed it. No, it was because it didn't feel like the person was interacting and seeing the world the way that I would expect that character to interact with and see the world. They kept very good visual and thematic consistency, but they changed the way the character interacted with the world, which was very jarring to fans like myself. And so that was a problem. So similarly, if they had done the reverse, changed the look and feel and stuff, but kept the character feeling and interacting with the world in a way that was consistent with what we would expect of the character, it would have been totally fine. I would have been totally on board. Now I'm just kind of like a little bit despondent about The Last Jedi because I kind of enjoyed it, but I was really upset about a bunch of things about it.
Well, you just made me think of a different angle there. So like in Daredevil's case, right, if they were to kind of do like a prequel, right, show it back when he was with Elektra, you know, because you get to see parts of that, you know, in the series, right? If they do a prequel and go back in time and change actors as well, right?
Change actors, change look, change feel. Everything could be different.
Then I think I'd be okay with that, right? Yeah, I'd be good with that, right? But to continue the storyline, if they too much of a jolt in the storyline they're in right now, then it gets to be a little bit, you know, janky.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if they take the storyline and just like go to the next week or the next year, like they've been doing with the seasons. If they did that, you're right, it would feel really weird. Right. But all they got to do is just make a shift 10 years later, 2 years later, 10 years before or whatever, so that there is like a justification for a change in a lot of the aspects of the show.
All right.
Very cool.
So, I will say, I posted this on the Discord. I don't know if it's a rant or a rave. The season 6 of The Ranch came out a couple days ago, and I watched the entire season in like one evening, and I feel kind of dirty.
So I have a question for you. So The Ranch, I've never seen it, so I don't have any context on it. So you just said you saw season 6, and season 6 made you feel dirty. Have you seen seasons 1 through 5, or any of the other seasons?
Yeah, no, I have. But
okay,
it was
so
not only did I watch, am I still watching The Ranch, but I watched it basically in one sitting.
Oh,
right, straight through. I pushed play. I was at my studio. I was doing stuff, watching it. I came home, and immediately, when I turned my TV on, resumed what I was doing. The other seasons I watched over time, so it didn't quite feel as dirty. I don't know if anybody's watched The Ranch. You know why.
I've never seen. What is the general like? The 6-second version. I know it's got Ashton Kutcher in it. That's
70s show set in Colorado on a ranch, and they can swear.
Okay.
So it
could
started out. It started out with Ashton Kutcher and the dude that played Hyde. As brothers.
Oh, okay.
The whole reason I started watching it was because their dad is what's his face, cowboy dude with the big giant mustache,
Sam Elliott.
So I started watching it for Sam Elliott and Deborah Winger, and I love Sam Elliott. I love him in the show. The first episode felt like it was originally written for network TV. But then when they ended up on Netflix, they said, "Oh, we need to take advantage of the fact that we can swear," and it was just like it wasn't natural; it was over the top. But then I originally joked it was that '70s show on a ranch, but then as the series goes on, more and more people from that '70s show up, so it literally is. There's not really much to it. Other than small town ranch, lots of drinking jokes and just normal stuff. Except they finally they killed off what's his face because he got in trouble for Me Too and he got fired from the show. That right before season 5 came out, and I knew he got fired. But then all through season 5, he was still around. It's like, wait, what the hell? I thought they got rid of him, and then season 6, he's not around anymore. They resolved that, but it's you gotta. If you're looking for mindless something, you can watch it, but don't watch it all in one sitting.
Okay.
And it's a comedy, right?
They call it a comedy. That's debatable.
Wow, that is a really ringing endorsement of the show. I must tell you.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I am going to go right out and not watch it.
6 parts, so these seasons come. They're like most of the like everything else Netflix is doing now, where they're doing them in parts rather than seasons. So like every 6 months you get a new part. Just like, that reminds me, the new part, like 8 of Voltron should be out now. I'm super excited about that one. Because that has been great.
Well, as I mentioned before, I haven't gotten a chance to watch much video this week because for my birthday, quite a bit late, I got a Nintendo Switch. And bought Breath of the Wild. So a large portion of my time has been consumed with playing that. Maybe I exaggerate a lot by saying a large portion of my time. I've also been playing because I got the Pokemon Pikachu, Let's Go Pikachu version of the Switch that has the Pokemon on it and comes with the ball controller. And so I've also been playing that with my daughter.
So you've been playing with your Pokemon ball?
Is it large and is it red? Yes, it is. Okay.
It's palm size, right?
Red and white.
It's got a little nipple on it. Sorry.
Anyway.
No, I want to know something, Michael. So you've been playing Breath of the Wild, and
I've actually just gotten off of the island that you start on, so I haven't gotten very far. But I've really enjoyed it. It's really it is. I saw pictures of the graphics and did not appreciate them because I was like, that looks like crappy graphics, the cell shading style and stuff like that. But it looks really nice when you're playing it.
Yes, it does. And you will. I spent 100 hours on it, and then I started replaying it again. The game's so nice, I bought it twice, once for Wii U, once for Switch. So, if you really like it, if you get so far in the game and you really are enjoying it, buy the DLC. It's worth it, and enjoy, because it's a great game. With the storyline's not the world's greatest storyline, but it's good.
Yeah.
So,
one quick question: do you use just the standard Joy-Con controllers on the thing, or do you have a separate?
I use a Pro controller. I feel that the Joy-Cons are too small for my hands.
They are.
Very
That's why I
over my
asked.
hands. Wonderful
So you
for
just
being a
use
portable system, but we did buy a Pro controller and I use that.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Since we're talking about games, I'll add something real quick. The last few weeks I've been trying to put in some time with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah?
But I keep getting busy. But then now I went and found out that Microsoft's Flight Simulator X, the Steam edition, has a multiplayer mode where someone could be the air traffic controller and control the airport. So, we've downloaded it. I downloaded it, and I spent the last, 2 to 3 days learning how to fly. And, yeah, so we go out. There's some Air Force guys that have videos on YouTube. Just look for Flight Simulator X, ATC, and you'll find their funny videos. And I'm wondering why has Diamond Club not been doing this? So hopefully we'll be able to do this some soon. It runs really well on old hardware because the game came out in 2006.
All right.
And it's like $20-$30 if you download
They still
it from
start
Steam.
you off with a Cessna and a Learjet when you get on that game.
You depends on your missions. You've got a bunch of planes to choose from right off the bat. There's an
I'm
F-18.
sorry. The last time I played Flight Simulator was the original Flight Simulator 1.0, and you could choose between the Learjet and the Cessna. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I made sure and bought the downloadable content so I gotta have a Corsair. It's the only plane I care about. But, yeah.
Okay.
All right, rock on. Then we should go ahead and wrap this thing up. Quick announcement. The December movie party will be this weekend at 10 p.m. Central. We will be rewatching Christmas Horror Story with William Shatner. And the poll for the second movie is currently up. If you go to @DC Movie Party, go ahead and vote. We've got a couple good contenders. And then also the round 2 of the cage match is underway. So if you go to YOLO420.com/cage match 2018, MB, please put that in the chat. And we get some votes for round 2. We had some surprising upsets in the first round. Some unlikely contenders came through, and we're gonna see where it goes. But yeah. All right, and then thank you to everybody that came to hang out with us tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. If you're checking this out after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central on Twitch. Come join us. That's where all the fun is. You get to talk crap, make fun of us in the chat. Also get to submit title suggestions, which, reminder, go vote for those now. If you're here live, stick around after the end. We will go into post-show. We'll decide a title. And, yeah, I think that's it. Did I forget anything, guys?
I don't think so. I think you got everything.
All right.
Did you remember to take pre-show off at the beginning?
I did.
Okay, then we're good.
I never put it on this one. Now, if I go over to 3, there it is. All right. Okay, then let's take this to the post show. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week.
Laters.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.